Today's Tuesday, August 10th, 2021, and this is a video about one particular memory about the sun, and it just has to do with how bright the sun is today. And I guess it's not like a specific memory, it's just remembering the way things were. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills because it's like almost everybody out there has collective amnesia and they can't remember what things were like 20 years ago. And it's really weird to me. People that are really old even. I've told this story before about how I had a neighbor and they they would see like a really low airplane go by with spraying a chemtrail, and this chemtrail starts spreading out through the sky, and I would hear this neighbor talk about, oh, how beautiful, oh, look at that jet trail, and they would say it's beautiful, and it was just so mind-boggling to me. It's like, I'm only 30 years old and I remember that this stuff doesn't happen, and here you are a lot older than me and you're acting like this stuff has always been here. And not only that, they were acting like it was beautiful. There's nothing beautiful about the disgusting smudginess coming out of an airplane. And go figure, this individual, they're no longer my neighbor because they were having dementia issues. And I wonder if all this lying to yourself is just not very good for your brain, or if a lot of the older people, they don't remember the way that things were because their just memory is totally deteriorating. I have no idea. And to me, it just, all I can explain is I remember the way that things used to be. I'm not going to let other people try to, well, we'll get into it. There are four lights. And so the thing is, the sun did not used to be this bright. And I know for a fact that the sun didn't used to be this bright. One way is just driving. Anybody, and just going back to, it feels like everybody's under collective amnesia. There's a lot of adults out there that drive and that have been driving for decades. I'm not special in that in any way. So why do I remember that I never used to have to use sunglasses? And I have blue eyes and I grew up in California. Sure, there were a lot of people that have always worn sunglasses while they drive. But these days, this is a morning sun and it is so bright. These days, when the sun is just rising, it is so bright you need sunglasses. It didn't used to be like that. In the morning, during sunrise and sunset, the sun didn't used to be so white, hot, blinding, intense. Nowadays, it's really dangerous driving in the morning and in the evening if you're facing the sun because it's so bright. And not even to get into, it's really obvious that I mean, here I got a picture of it. They spray the crap out of the sky in the morning and in the evening, I think for this reason, because it's so bright. But yeah, so it just boggles my mind. Where are all the truck drivers out there that are saying, didn't used to be like this. I remember when the sun used to be more yellow and you used to actually be able to look directly at it. And I remember not having to use sunglasses when I was driving. I never used to use sunglasses. Now that's not even an option. And it's not because I'm getting older. I'm still a young man. It's just ridiculous when people are like, "Oh, you're getting older." They talk to people who remember things being differently like they're an old geezer. I'm still a young man. It's not like things have changed greatly for me. So, yeah, that's it. Do you guys remember how the sun didn't used to be so bright? I remember that you used to be able to look directly at the sun. But this video in particular, I'm just remembering the morning light didn't used to be so blinding. And how many of you drivers out there remember it not being like this? Now it's like dangerous. If I found myself on the road and I didn't have sunglasses, I'd be like, I need to stop somewhere and buy a pair of sunglasses. And I don't even live in California anymore, and the sun is still so bright. Things are just so different, but nobody can see it. Well, some of us can see it and remember the way that things were. It's just, it always boggles my mind how few there are. How few people there are that are willing to stand up and say, things are different, the lines in the sky are not normal, planes didn't used to do that all the time, the clouds in the sky that we see today, that's not how it used to be. No, this was not a typical cloud formation in times past, but now this is like all you see in the sky day after day, smudginess. No, puffy clouds. Do you guys remember drawing the sun as yellow and drawing puffy clouds? And this is a great quote from Isaiah, or verse from Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 46, verse 9. Remember the former things of old, for I am God, and there is none else. I am God, and there is none like me. It's a theme in the Bible of, it's like people forget what just happened. And how many times did the Jews have to remember all the things that they've gone through, and then still, most of them would be stiff-necked? There's multiple instances. I'm not like a Old Testament scholar, but I know reading the Old Testament, you're like, dang, these guys just, they keep getting forgiven, and then they just turn their necks over and over. And whenever it happens in the Bible, it seems like it's the minority who's like, hey, wait a minute, what are you guys doing? So, for instance, the golden calf. It's like Moses was up on the mountain, and these people were already going back to idolatry. So most people have the attention span of a goldfish, the memory of a goldfish, and it seems, who knows, are these people NPCs? What is going on? Why are there so many people that don't remember the way that things were, even though it's so different? Why can nobody remember? And of course, the media talks about this all the time. In 1984, there's the idea of, are we at war of Eurasia or East Asia? And it's almost like it's not even the point of who they're at war with. The point is, there's the people that can realize that there's shenanigans going on, and then there's the people that they're mindless NPCs, and it doesn't matter. They can switch it day after day, and they'll just go along with it. So I briefly said this earlier. There's this idea of there are four lights, and it's the battle that people who remember the way that it used to be go through. There's always going to be people jumping out of the woodworks. Oh, it's always been like this. Airplanes have always made things in the sky. Oh, clouds have always been like that. You're crazy. The sun has always been bright. Oh, you've always needed to wear sunglasses all the time. And so it's the battle that people face with their memories and with just the truth, standing up for what you perceive to be reality. And so that's, if you don't know what this is, it's probably one of the more famous parts of Star Trek. Basically, Picard is under being tortured, and the torture is, there's, as you can see, there's these four lights, but this guy is, they want to force Picard to say that there's 5 lights. And I guess that this is directly referencing 1984. They say that they can get people to say that 2 + 2 = 5. And so, I mean, there's probably some extra meaning here, trying to get Picard to say that this guy standing in the middle is a light. I don't know. You could get into it, but there's just this idea of a form of torture, a form of mind control. You know that you have control over somebody's mind when you can get them to stare at 4 lights and tell you that there's 5 of them. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 26. This is the prophecy being fulfilled. Moreover, the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun, and the light of the sun shall be sevenfold, as the light of 7 days, in the day that the Lord bindeth up the breach of his people, and healeth the stroke of their wound. So I believe that we're in end times. It could be any day. I say this pretty frequently these days, that it just feels like we're in the overtime. It feels like all the conditions have basically been met, and we're just in the extra time now, waiting for the end. Nobody knows the day. You just have to be ready, and every day be ready. Do you own a video camera? No, Fred hates them. I like to remember things my own way. What do you mean by that? How I remembered them, not necessarily the way they happened. I just want to mention this one brief thing, because I think it comes into play. People out there that are afraid of admitting the truth because it makes them feel uncomfortable. They don't like the truth. People that are afraid of looking more than surface level. All they see is the green grass on the surface. They don't even want to know what's underneath it. And this reminds me, I've just known a lot of people like this in my life, where if you start to even suggest some sort of wrong think, if you start to tell them a story that has something bad happening in it, people that just can't take any of that, they're like, oh, I can't. For whatever reason, I'm thinking of like one person in my memory, and this person also, like, they can't smell anything. If anything has like a smell to it, they'll start freaking out. Oh, what's that smell? What's this? There's just some people out there that's like, their entire life has to be this squeaky clean 1950s, shiny on the outside, but then they're also not even willing to admit that there's anything dark under the surface. And it's like these people who are like, they can see the chemtrails in the sky, they can see like, wow, why is the sun blinding me at 7 a.m., but they won't even go there with their thoughts, because for them everything has to be this like sterilized thing. I don't know if that made sense, but it does feel like the entire world is under this sort of mind control amnesia. They can blink their flashy lights on the TV and make people forget everything that ever happened in the past and insert whatever sort of reality they want to on the general public, and they'll go along with it. I kind of mentioned this earlier, the denial thing. I think, so people that are afraid of admitting that evil exists, it's just some sort of denial. Admitting that there's evil people out there and admitting that the world is going to come to a fiery end is just too much for people, so they just won't even go there.
Excuse me, 1 second. It's the pipes.
You know, Mother Lucille, there's a psychological concept known as denial that I believe you're inventing. It's when a thought is so hateful that the mind literally rejects it.
You are a worse psychiatrist than you are a son-in-law, and you will never get work as an actor because you have no talent.
Well, if she's not going to say anything, I certainly can't help her.
So that's basically it. Most people are just, you talk about this stuff and they'll just shut down completely, like not even want to go there. Yeah, that's it. I guess I wanted to point out with this, I think the whole concept of, you know, there's people out there that obsessively collect newspapers. I think that there's a lot of people out there that they have a strong fear of not wanting to lose memories, to not wanting to forget the way that things were. And I don't know where that fits into this. Maybe I'll talk about it again some other time. I just know that there are a lot of people out there that they have these obsessive not wanting to forget things. And I think that might be behind this whole hoarding newspaper thing. Maybe some of these people know that those in control like to go in the past, or like to change things in the past, and maybe they're keeping all these newspapers because they think that it'll be useful one day. Oh, I'll be able to go back and prove, hey, look, they really said this. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, the sun, it just didn't used to be like this. It is so bright. And to me, it seems crazy that nobody talks about it. Why? Everybody should be talking about, why is it so dang bright, so early in the morning, all the time now? It can be winter, and just a morning day in the winter, and if it's sunny, you can get a tan. It blinds you. It didn't used to be like this. I specifically remember being able to look directly at the sun when I was young, and it wasn't a big deal. The sun used to be yellow. Now it's white hot, and it's end times prophecy. So everybody should know about this. Everybody should talk about it. Whenever people bring up climate change, whenever people bring up the weather manipulation, people should just be saying, yeah, it's because it's end times. The sun is crazy. The sun is crazy bright and hot, and the moon is crazy bright too. So it all points to the end. God bless everyone.